Today we're back on the Today I Messed Up subreddit and it's going to be so fun. Ever since we did the last episode, I've wanted to get back on here. There's something so addictive about these stories. They're wholesome and they're fun, but they're also kind of unbelievable. And yeah, thank you for joining me and let's get straight into it. Enjoy, guys. Today I messed up by showing my friend their doppelganger. I was on the tube on the way to see some friends in North London. While looking around on the tube to pass time, I noticed someone a few seats down that looked remarkably similar to an old friend of mine, who I hadn't spoken to or seen for a while, although this person was a lot rough around the edges and about 20 kilos heavier than my friend is. I feel like we can already see where this is going. As the resemblance was uncanny, I decided to sneak a quick photo of the person to send to my friend. When I got out of the tube and regained service on my phone, I sent them a message with the photo with the caption, "This guy looks just like you if you packed on." No! "This guy looks just like you if you packed on some pounds." The message was opened almost immediately. No reply for a few minutes. That is me. I haven't been able to respond yet. I'm too embarrassed. I feel truly awful about it. Serves me right for being a bit of a twat. Oh my god, that's so awful. And also so obvious in retrospect as well. Like, wait a second, you look a lot like my friend. Oh, you are my friend. Of course you are. The next one is called Today I Messed Up by Asking My Wife for a Paternity Test. This didn't happen today, but a few weeks ago. My wife of 4 years gave birth to our first child last year. Both my wife and I are blue-eyed and light-skinned. Our baby has a darker skin tone. Over the past 6 months, his eyes turned a very dark brown. I had my doubts. My friends and family had questions. I read way too many horror stories online. I asked my wife half-jokingly one day if she was sure the kid was mine. She stared daggers at me and said, "Of course he is." I let it go for a while, but I still had a nagging doubt. So right after Thanksgiving, I told her I wanted a paternity test to put my doubts to rest. She agreed. A few weeks ago, I came home to an empty house, wife and son gone. On the bed, she left the paternity results and a petition for divorce. Kid is 100% mine. Now I'll only get to see him on weekends and I lost the most amazing woman I've ever known. Whoa! Oh my god, that's awful. I wasn't expecting that. Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, even if you did handle this bad, surely this must have been the final straw and there must have been other issues going on. Like, yeah, obviously showing them that you don't trust them at all, but hopefully it's not real. The next one's called Today I Messed Up by sending my wife to check if a Powerball ticket was a winner. So this happened a few days ago. I have a long-standing habit of buying a lottery ticket for the Powerball or Mega Ball, etc. whenever it gets over 300 million. It's overall a very small amount per year and it's just a very small investment in fun times from my point of view. Recently the price was slowly creeping up due to no winners multiple weeks in a row. The price gets rolled over if there is no winner. It was over $1 billion last week and I bought a ticket like usual, but I got too busy to take it in to check the numbers. Here's where I screwed up. I decided to give the ticket to my wife to check. Now, she's a sweet lady who's never gambled anything, so she was not familiar with the process. I sent her to a local supermarket with a machine, explained how to scan the card, and I sent her on her merry way. A little while later, I got a strange text basically saying, "You better be sitting down," and then a text saying something to the effect of, "I'm never coming back to this store again." Later, I got the full story. She scanned the ticket correctly and the machine announced that she was a winner. A full screen graphic and giant words in the works. She freaked out at the prospect of becoming billionaires. She does not know how much is shaved off for taxes, but that's a different story. Attracting attention in the store after hyperventilating for a minute or two, she saw that the machine stated to proceed to a checkout counter. She walks over and found out that she won $2. She was not aware that if you get one number or sum in the right place, you can win your money back. Anyways, after landing back on Earth abruptly, she left the store mortified at her reaction to winning $2, and now we need to find somewhere else to shop, lol. Oh my god, that's so funny. We won $1 billion. This is incredible. To be fair though, the machine shouldn't make such a big deal about $2, but at the same time, they shouldn't assume that they're gonna win the full amount. Wow, that's so funny. Today I messed up. I'm a terrible parent. Today I gave my 4-year-old his first existential crisis. I did one of those age progression apps that aged me to about 70, and I showed it to my son, not even thinking about the consequences of my actions. For a little backstory, we just moved in with my best friend who recently lost her grandma to old age. It was my son's first exposure to death and he's very matter-of-fact about it. When my friend or our boys talk about her, he'll sometimes chime in with gems like, "Yeah, but she's dead, so..." He's asked all the normal questions about death that a 4-year-old has, and I think he does understand it. His response to the picture was not what I was expecting. He completely broke down and for almost an hour he just cried and wailed, "I don't want you to get old and die, mama. Please don't get old and die. die? He repeated it over and over as if saying it would somehow will me into existence forever. Nothing I could do or say would comfort him. He did this until he passed out. It was bedtime. I think for the first time he realized that I'd die and what that actually means. Did I traumatize my baby? I feel so stupid for showing him that picture. I should have known. Yeah, like this comment says, not bad parenting. This reaction is normal. I was coincidentally talking to my mum recently and I asked her when I first learned about death. She mentioned that she explained to me one day that I would pretty much have to learn to take care of myself because my parents wouldn't be there one day. And I pretty much had the same reaction as your kid. The wild part is I'd completely forgotten about this until she mentioned it. Yeah, I feel like it's totally normal, but yeah, that would have been super unexpected. Today I messed up by talking to Neil Patrick Harris. My kids are off school for the holidays, so I took them to a local trampoline park today. When we got there, I looked around and I noticed a familiar face. I look a little bit closer and I realize it's Neil Patrick Harris, just there with one of his kids. We live near LA, so it's not uncommon to spot a celebrity. In fact, I've seen Neil Patrick Harris out and about once before. I went over to him excited to tell him how much our family recently enjoyed 8-Bit Christmas. Good movie, by the way, worth a watch for 80s and 90s kids. Hey, are you Neil Patrick Harris? I ask. He smiles. No, but I get that a lot. I am an actor though. Me disappointed and assuming he's in community theatre or something. Oh really? What have you been in? Him politely. Well, I've been Iceman in all of the X-Men movies. Immediately I realised that the reason he looked familiar was because he's Shawn Ashmore. He does indeed play Iceman in all the X-Men franchise and is also Lamplighter in The Boys. So I pretty much made an ass of myself. To his credit, he was extremely cool about it. Seemed like a genuinely nice guy. But yeah, lesson learned, I probably won't try to talk to celebrities anymore, just in case you get them confused for somebody else. That's so funny though. I'm sure you didn't upset them or anything. Wait, so you didn't actually think they looked like Neil Patrick Harris? You were confused and you got the wrong name? Cause yeah, I was gonna say, they don't look that similar. The next one is called Today I Messed Up by Realizing That My Husband and I Have Been Miscommunicating for Years. Today I, 29 male, was talking at lunch with my husband, 33 male, and we went over the same subject that we've unsuccessfully talked about for years. Please note that we've known each other for almost 10 years, lived together for 5, and we've been married for almost 3. So we were talking about dogs and cats, and he said that cats are pretty good. Now pay attention to that wording because that's the bit where we messed up. Over the years I've been disheartened when he said things were pretty good. From my perspective, he seemed to be emotionally distant and unenthusiastic about things. Everything was pretty good and said in a very mild tone of voice. So over the years we tried to talk about it with limited success. Today when I asked him why he never seemed to show much enthusiasm for stuff, he said that he did show enthusiasm because he likes cats, but you just said that they were only pretty good. This confused him even more. Somehow I managed upon the magic combination of words to get him to elaborate further. Usually he would repeat that things are pretty good, but today he laid out his scale. It goes okay, good, pretty good, and great. I have never seen pretty good used in that place in the scale. I always placed it as below good, almost good, mostly good. For years we'd been talking about things and I'd assumed that he was sort of meh on them because of this. I had to run damage control at a Thanksgiving one time because he said that my mum's cooking was pretty good. We've stopped watching TV shows because I thought he was only mildly enjoying them, and I didn't want to be too much of a bother. I eventually just came to the conclusion that he wasn't very expressive and tried to place his responses in my own scale because he had such difficulty explaining it. Years. I got disheartened when he said that my dog was pretty good. He calls me pretty cool. When I told him about my scale, he was shocked and he says it must be a southern thing, though I don't remember it from when I lived in Texas. We compromised and said it must be an Arkansas thing, his home state. We began re-examining our interactions over the years. The Thanksgiving dinner, me explaining to my brother that no, my husband did really like that movie. He just expresses it this way. How he talks about my dog, all of it. When lunch was over and I assured him that everything was okay, he said I was pretty cool and got this horrified look on his face. He realized that from my perspective, he'd been calling me only mostly cool and good, etc. for years. I similarly realized that I'd been assuming that he wasn't enthusiastic about things because of the wording. It was so embarrassing. I've encouraged him to be more open about his feelings and his happiness, and just confusing him for years. I'm just so baffled by everything. It's good that we're learning to communicate better, but jeez, he really feels apologetic now, and I've tried to assure him that I just assumed it was like a jokey understatement, meant to be kind of funny and maybe razz me a little. But no, he was entirely sincere the whole time. We're trying to find better ways to communicate, but it's a process. He has encouraged me to ask him, what do you think that means? As a way of getting him to rephrase some of the things that he says. Hopefully we can cut down on miscommunications like this in the future. Wow, that's so funny, but also kind of not funny at the same time. Like you said, a little bit embarrassing, and surely you would have felt so so bad. I'm the same as you though. When somebody says something is pretty good, it definitely comes off like it's not, amazing. Like, oh yeah, it was pretty good. So I can definitely understand where you're coming from. Yeah, like this comment says, when people say interesting, I had a similar realization after a few months with my now wife. I would say something was interesting and she would immediately assume that it was horrible. Like I was saying it sarcastically, like that's an interesting choice. But every single time I used the word, I stopped using it because she couldn't get over her automatic assumption that I was saying that things were bad. And it was easier for me to choose different adjectives. Yeah, the same in that situation. I definitely would have felt the same as their wife. Like, oh, that's an interesting choice. It also depends a lot on how you say it. But yeah, it's good they finally figured this out. Today I messed up. I made fun of a guy who doesn't know how to do laundry. I started seeing this guy about 3 weeks ago. Let me be clear, we've known each other for a long time because he was a friend of my cousin. He asked me out a few weeks ago and I said yes. I've known him since I was like 15. I also know his family too because our mums were colleagues. So anyway, he came to my house 5 days ago to pick me up because we were having a picnic date. I was in the living room watching a kid show, Phineas and Ferb. I really like this show. I've been watching the reruns since I was a kid. The cartoon had a huge impact on my life. I still watch it whenever my mood is off so that I can cling on to the innocent child inside me. I was laughing at a part and he was standing next to me. He was a little confused judging by his expression. He asked me if my nephew was in the house. I told him no. Then he asked me then who is watching the cartoon since all of my family members are adults. I told him I was watching it and I really liked this cartoon. I then proceeded to tell him that I still watch this particular cartoon because it was a part of my childhood and I have some good memories linked to it. He told me that it's really embarrassing and ridiculous. People that make fun of other people because of something that they like, especially like a childhood cartoon or something, or even thinking that it's strange to watch a cartoon as an adult, that's a giant red flag. I asked why. He told me that I'm a 24-year-old woman. Why am I watching something that kids watch and I need to grow up? It really bothered me. I don't think there's an age limit to watching cartoons. Since that day, he would make fun of me. When we go to a restaurant, he would jokingly order from the kids menu. He would talk to me in a baby voice as if I'm a kid. Whenever I tell him stop, he would say, "Aw, you got mad? How cute." And sometimes even use phrases like young lady. It was really frustrating. Today we went to a party and his friends were there too. I was meeting them for the first time. He introduced me and said to his friends that he needs to be locked up because he's technically dating a minor. Oh my god, bro, everybody watches cartoons. What are you doing? He then tells them how I still watch cartoons and they all laugh. Some of them find it awkward. He also made fun of my height. I'm 5'4" and he's 6'1". He proceeds to shuffle my hair like people do to kids. I got mad and I told him it's funny how he makes fun of me being a kid, yet he still needs mummy to do his laundry. His smile just wiped out of his face. I further said, well, at least this kid knows how to keep herself clean and knows how to drive, unlike him who failed the driving test 2 times. The room went silent. Later when I got home, I got calls from my cousin that I overreacted and embarrassed him in front of all of his friends. And he was right to make fun of me because who the hell watches cartoons when they're adults? Who are these people? Oh my god. I told her I'm not interested in entertaining boys who feel like they can make fun of anyone they want. Yeah, 100%. But when someone does the same, they act like little babies. I guess that's it. Probably the shortest relationship I've ever had. Yeah, like this comment says, does not sound like a mess up. He deserved the embarrassment. I suppose the relationship won't be going anywhere then. Like making fun of people and projecting their own insecurities onto you. Yeah, that's so bad. And also, like these comments say, wait until they find out that cartoons are made by adults. This is the part that people always forget. Who do they think made the cartoons? Also, people do stuff that kids do all the time because it's fun. Nobody ordered adults to become boring tax-paying robots when they turn 18. Yeah, 1,000,000%. And yeah, I don't think you messed up at all. You did the right thing. Today I messed up by accidentally calling my boss mum during a meeting. So today I, 35 male, was in a meeting with my boss, 27 female, and a few other co-workers discussing a new project that we're working on. We were going over some details and my boss was explaining something to me when I accidentally called her mum. I immediately realized my mistake and I apologized profusely, but the damage was done. My co-workers couldn't stop laughing and my boss looked at me with a mix of amusement and disbelief. To make matters worse, I found out later that the entire meeting was recorded and shared with the rest of the company. 200 people. I'm now known as the guy who called his boss mum in a meeting. Lesson learned, always pay attention to who you're talking to in meetings and never ever call your boss mum. Yeah, but how did this happen in the first place? Were you super tired and confused or something? Or were you just talking to your mum or something? Either way, that's hilarious and they're probably going to be laughing about this forever. Today I messed up by letting one rip in front of my boyfriend. I've 21 female, been seeing my boyfriend, 25 male, for almost a year now, and he's a pretty good guy. He's just a little bit more proper than me. He won't fart or burp in front of me, and he probably expected me to never burp or fart in front of him. That's their issue, not yours. I've told him though that I think farts are hilarious, and my family farts in front of each other all the time, and my grandpa even rates them out of 10. Since my boyfriend finds it disgusting though, I haven't shown him my full fart potential until today. We had eaten Mexican food earlier and it wasn't agreeing with me super well, and I had to pass gas pretty bad. But my boyfriend was with me in the kitchen. I had to think of a diversion, and I asked him if he could take the trash out for me. He said yes, and he took it out the door. He wasn't even gone a second when I ripped one that almost vibrated the house. I was glad that he didn't witness the mass destruction of my pants, but when I turned around, he was staring at me from the back door. He forgot to put his shoes on and he was coming back in. I've never seen such disgust on a face before, but he definitely thinks I'm nasty now. I think my grandpa would have given me a thumbs up and a 10 out of 10. Update, thank you to everyone that finds farts as funny as I do, but after it came back in the house, he didn't even acknowledge my magnificent foghorn. I did tell my grandpa about it though, and he was proud of me. And then the TLDR thing says I farted in front of my boyfriend and he's probably gonna leave me now. Okay, so I'm assuming that you're joking about the last bit. Like, please tell me they're not actually gonna leave you because you farted. But yeah, once again, that's hilarious. And you shouldn't feel bad about this either. Obviously, it's completely normal. Today I messed up by telling my husband I liked a pair of earrings. My husband and I were out on an art walk with friends and we passed by a jewelry store. I noticed some pretty gold and opal earrings in the window that were, in my opinion, clearly out of our price range, but in classic let's indulge in the fantasy that we can have whatever we want for a moment, I walked in to have the person give me a closer look. Husband and friends follow me in. So the guy unlocks the case and I try on the fancy earrings and I ask the guy how much and he says $2,800. Now, I'm not a jewelry person, I rarely wear any. I'm a homebody, so it's not like I have many occasions for whipping out earrings in any case. My husband, I believe, knows this, so after the guy tells us the absurd price, I jokingly make eye contact with husband and say, birthday? ? That's it, I just said birthday and then we laugh and we leave and we go on our way. We get a little further and my husband pats his pockets and says, oh no, I forgot my wallet in the car. So I give him the keys and he runs the several blocks back to the car and our friend and I keep looking at galleries until he catches up with us. At which point he hands me a jewelry box. Friends are impressed, husband is very proud and happy, and I'm mortified. I feel so bad, don't get me wrong, we can afford it, but it's such a ginormous waste of money. But I couldn't bring myself to tell him I'd rather not have them in front of our friends. To be honest, I don't think I'm ever gonna even have the heart to tell him. Edit, someone mentioned one of my follow-up comments should go in the post as an edit, so here it goes. It's a pretty common joke between my husband and I. For example, if we're at an antique store and see a 15-foot chandelier, either one of us might say, maybe for my birthday. We don't even own a home that could house a 15-foot chandelier. Other examples we've used on this recently, a wall-mounted antique buffalo head that was taxidermied to look like a smoking tobacco pipe, a 6-foot-tall wicker dog, a statue of a clown playing an accordion, a Craigslist post offering up 15 used whiskey barrel bar stools. I agree, it's my bad for not following up to clarify when we left the store, but in general for us it's a well-known code. For holy gee willikers, look what someone is expected to pay for this monstrosity. End result, the earrings are here to stay. I have thanked him profusely and let him know how loved it made me feel. After I posted this, but long before it started popping off, I vented a little of my fear over the cost to husband in as kind a way as possible, and he talked me through my anxiety and pointed out that it would not break the bank. We talked through ideas for doing better communicating on this in the future on my part, and set a $150 spending limit for gifts above, which we should probably check in with each other. We aren't keeping it hard and fast, but more as a general rule of thumb. Yeah, like the top comment says, it sounds like you never asked for anything frivolous and your husband just jumped on the opportunity to indulge you. I'd be finding any excuse to wear them. Yeah, 100%, like you might as well use them as much as you can. Wholesome today I messed up post. Today I messed up by peeing off the side of a mountain. So I, 32 male, and my girlfriend, 33 female, were out enjoying our annual anniversary vacation. This year we decided to do some hiking through Appalachia and it ended up in Red River Gorge. The scenery is amazing, the weather was great. I figured I wasn't going to get a better opportunity to pop the question. Well, any gentleman knows better than to get down on one knee in the middle of a trail. You wait until you're at the highest peak. Unfortunately, nature called long before we got to that point. Now, every guy knows that the higher the ledge you pee off, the more authority you have. So I found a pleasant little overlook, did my business and carried on with my proposal in mind. Along the way we passed a few other hikers, said our greeting and kept moving towards the top. Once we'd reached the summit of this particular rock, she sat down and I tried to mentally prepare myself to get things just right. So once I got myself all psyched up, I put my hand in my pocket and I palmed the ring, knelt down in front of her and she said, I see your wiener. Turns out I'd forgotten to zip myself back up and the little flippy flaps of my boxer shorts failed to do their job. So there I am on one knee trying to make this a memorable moment and failing successfully. After flopping through the proposal, we stopped and realized that I may have flashed a few innocent hikers as well. Wow, that's unbelievable. Yeah, like this comment says, I was totally expecting you to say that you'd peed on the hikers below. Congrats. And also it says that they did say yes. Oh, that's so funny, and that's such a good story as well. At least they said yes, that's what matters. Okay, I feel like that's enough of this subreddit for today, guys. That was such a fun episode, and I hope you enjoyed, guys. Time for something wholesome. What's something that makes you smile every time? My cat thinks he's the best at hiding. He's nearly blind, so he doesn't know that his cover is usually a lot smaller than him. I'll stare straight into his eyes and ask where he went, saying that he's the best hider. After a minute or two, he'll jump out of his hiding spot and run over to me. I'll say, there he is, and then pat his head. He looks so proud of himself every time. Oh, that's so bloody cute. Like, don't worry, I'm here. You didn't lose me. I'm right here, okay? I know I'm the best hider ever, but don't worry, I'm right here. That's so sweet. Come over to my house and let's do something. What we do. Maybe it's just me, but just existing in the same air with my friends is very therapeutic for me. Yeah, 100%. Just sort of comfy and hanging out together. Yeah, that's so nice. When you're new at the gym and trying to figure out how the equipment works. God, that's such a cute cat. Little fella. Sorry, I forgot what the meme even said. Cat is too cute. And once again, thank you for watching, guys. I hope you had a wonderful time. And if you did and you want to see more Today I Messed Up, make sure you like and subscribe and let me know down below. And the comment of the day today goes to Enchanting Wings 1. I love listening to these videos as I'm studying. Have a great day, everyone. Yeah, everyone, I hope you have a great day too. And yeah, thank you for listening to my videos. I'm really glad you enjoy them. Your support means so much to me. And as always, make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!